In order to simplify this expression, we need to factor the numerator and the denominator. And because the denominator currently has a negative sign in front of the n squared, we can factor out a -1 from all of the terms in the denominator, and that will make it easier to factor later on. So we can factor the numerator into n-6 times n-8. We can take the denominator, remembering that we still have to keep that -1 there, and factor the remaining part into n-8 and n-5. If we rewrite everything, we can see we have an n-8 in the numerator and the denominator, and everything is being multiplied. This means we can cancel out the n-8, because that's just going to be 1 over 1, and get a simplified version of our expression, which is n-6 over -1 times n-5, or more simply, negative n-6 over n-5. And that will be our final answer. Now, to find the excluded values, we need to find the values of n which will cause the denominator to equal 0. So if we look at -1 times n-8 times n-5, we can start out by dividing both sides of the equation by -1, and that will just leave us with n-8 times n-5 equals 0. And now we can solve. So if n-8 equals 0, we can add 8 to both sides of the equation, and that will give us our first value, which is n is equal to 8. If n-5 is equal to 0, we can add 5 to both sides of the equation, and that will give us our second excluded value, which is n is equal to 5. So if n equals either 8 or 5, we'll be dividing by 0, and therefore 8 and 5 are the excluded values for this expression.